Okay, this next video is for items and spells. Like I said before in other videos, these are just casual, kind of just generalizations. These aren't specific, exact what you should do. So just kind of, this is just to start off on items and spells. So at the beginning of the game, you get one spell in slot number 1, and at level 10 you get 2, and level 20 you get 3. I took one just to, I don't know, I was getting some money in the beginning in case I buy anything to demonstrate. So by selecting a spell, you click there, and then see these are your different spells. This is your Blink. This is like, if I make any comparisons, it's mostly going to be to League because I played a lot of League of Legends and I don't know that much about Dota. But Blink is like your Flash essentially, or your Blink Dagger, but way more cooldown. Stasis, this is like your Zonias. You just stay still for a bit and you're invincible. I mean, you can read them, you don't need this. This is your Smite, you take this spell, it's called Vanquish if you're going to jungle. It helps you clear things, it helps you secure Parasite. Deflect is a cool one. It casts a shield around an area, and it will... actually, you know what? I can show these. So there. See, this will create a shield around that area, and will shield everyone there. Vanquish is, you just click on that to smite people. I'm going to show this while I'm here. You can change spells. So say you took Drain in the beginning, I'll explain it later, but then you decide you don't want it. I've never actually done this either, but you stand here and no, yeah, there we go. You click the one you don't want, press unlearn. I knew you could do it, I just never bothered doing it. I always pick it correctly. And now you pick the next one you want. So what's the next one I'm gonna do? Let's see, Blank. Wither is like your exhaust. It reduces attack speed. That's what you want if they've got a lot of AD carries and assassins and whatnot. Tailwind's a cool one. It gives everyone a speed buff around you. It's not a huge area. Oh, didn't show it well. There we go. That's your area. So you want to make sure everyone's around you. Yeah, that is going to be your... what's that stupid item called? You know what I'm talking about, probably. Look, I explained what it did. That's all you got to know. What's the next one? Bastion. This just creates a shield around you and gives you armor. That's pretty self-explanatory. Exceed gives you power and increases it. So this is a risky one, but the cooldown is low. Most of these have a really high cooldown. Stagger. This is a cool one, but I don't use it too often. It just shoots a bolt. It's got pretty good range. It shoots a bolt that really slows down the enemy, and it helps you catch them. So if you're going for kind of a kill lane, then that's not a bad choice to get. Dispel's cool and useful. It just, any debuffs on you, it gets rid of them. This even removes some ultimates that people have. Varion, for example, you can dispel his ultimate, so it's worth taking if they've got a lot of CC. Blitz is... you have to use this before they get CC'd. Dispel you use after you get CC'd. Blitz gives you a speed boost and prevents you from being CC'd. So use that before. And Drain, where is it? Drain just does what it sounds like. You pick an opponent and you take some of the... You do damage and heal for some of the damage you do. This is going to take so long. Maybe I'll just do that for the spells and then I'll come back for items. I'm going to say I'm going to do that and cut it here. Yeah! Just kidding. I forgot to give examples of what you should take, actually. So, Blink, if you're new to the game, Blink is a good pick for everything. It'll get you out of situations where you mess up, where you go too far, and if you're feeling adventurous, you can blink forward and try to get a kill. So Blink, if you have no idea what to take at the beginning, Blink is always a safe choice. Unless you're a jungler, okay? I'm gonna skip to the bottom there. No exceptions. Always take Vanquish. But Zach, maybe I don't need it. No, you're wrong, and you should feel wrong. You always need Vanquish. It is so important to a jungler. Okay, tanky supports, typically, you don't need Blink as much because you've got a lot of health, so you won't get picked off so easily like a squishy AD carry. So, Tailwind is a good one because as a tanky support, you're obviously supporting your carry, so you don't need the personal Blink so much as you want the speed boost for your team. So usually I'll take Tailwind if I'm focused on CC. As my first spell if I'm supporting. Deflect is a good second spell. You shield around, but I suggest if you're not team fighting yet, you don't need Deflect, and I would take Wither instead, because there's almost always an AD carry or some kind of assassin, and Exhaust will reduce their damage by a ton in small fights and big fights. So I think Wither is a good second item, possibly even first if you see your lane. You don't have to pick a spell until you get to lane and see who you're against. That's something worth noting. Stagger is also something you can use. It's kind of similar to Exhaust, but it has longer range, and it's more focused on slowing down the target so that your team can catch up, as opposed to Exhaust, which assumes they're already in range and kind of reduces it. So those aren't obviously set in stone, but I suggest that. My sister's sick, and I think she's giving me a little. Anyways, spells. Okay, if you're a burst mage, an assassin, AD carry, or a kind of a killing support, Drain is not a bad idea. It does a lot of damage, adds to your burst, and it heals you. So that's 2 uses. It can be your first spell, by the way. You add it to your burst and hopefully kill them, or if you're just low on health and you're out of health potions, you can just use Drain early, and you may not get a kill, but at least you heal some health and you do a bit of damage. So Drain's not a bad choice either. If you're really bursty and you're confident in yourself, Exceed can help you improve that burst because it'll give you a lot more power. But if you're new, I don't suggest taking Exceed. It's not so common either. A lot of people don't think it's worth it. But if you're really confident in what your burst can do, it's not a bad choice either. Stasis and what is this called? Bastion, I think. Yeah, Bastion. These are your kind of survivor spells. So Stasis essentially makes you invulnerable and you can't move or do anything for 2.5 seconds, I think. And so this is good if they have burst, and some alts you have plenty of time to see is about to hit you. You can Stasis. Zalgus's ult will miss you. Ferris's lock-on ult will miss you. So that's if a lot of damage is coming at you at once and you can dodge it all. Bastion is more if they have a lot of constant damage, because it'll raise your armor and give you a shield. So instead of surviving a burst, it's more of it'll help you survive multiple smaller attacks. So it's up to you depending what you need. You can take both, but yeah, depending which one you want first is how the enemy team goes, if they're more constant damage versus burst. Something pretty much everyone will take. So if you didn't take Blink, you might also want Blitz. Like I said earlier, you know what Blitz does. So that's a good one to rush into the fight to get to the back because you can't be stopped, or to get away. Dispel is good if you're the carry and the second you get CC'd, you got to get out of there. So that's not a bad choice. If you're the tank, obviously you could take it, but I don't think it's worth it as much because you want them to be hitting you with a CC to protect everyone else. So I don't think it's as worth it. Blitz you can use to kind of, if you're zoning and you rush to the back line so they have to focus you, that's not too bad either. But like I show in this terrible infographic, I prefer those upper spells. Again, no exceptions for the Hunter. None. Okay, and these are some quick example, 3 spells that you can have. So you can take Drain first. That's just there. So this is kind of your support. You take your Tailwind, your Wither, your Deflect. I think those are 3 solid spells that will always be useful in every game. So if you're just learning, you can go with those 3 spells in whatever order you're comfortable with. If you're doing damage, I think those 3 are solid. Again, you can switch Bastion out with Stasis, depending what you need. Blitz also, if you're not so comfortable with that, you could take Stasis or some other spell there instead. Jungler, obviously, Vanquish first. And depending what kind of jungler you are, if you're trying to do damage, Blitz isn't bad because that'll help you in your ganks rush into the lane, or in fights rush to the back line. It'll help you get away too if you're invading their jungle and you're getting out. If you're new, I don't suggest invading, but maybe you're feeling daring, or maybe you're just terrible. I don't know. And then Wither isn't bad because if you're a assassin kind of jungler, then jumping onto the main damage source and then withering them, if you don't kill them, at least they're doing a bit less damage for that time. And hopefully that does allow you to kill them and not kill you. Stasis also isn't bad if you're a squishier jungler. So it's up to you, but these are some general ideas. So that'll be it for this one. This is kind of longer than I meant it to be, but yeah, what are you going to do? That's life.